The doorbell rang like a gunshot through my quiet house, shattering 3 years of unbearable silence. There they stood, my son Daniel, his wife Vanessa, my daughter Isabel, and her husband Nathan on my porch, fake smiles plastered on their faces, holding a cheap bouquet like it could erase the past. I froze, my heart pounding. For 3 years, not a call, not a visit, not even a text on my birthday. Now, here they were, the day after Mr. Caldwell, my late husband Walter's lawyer, called about Aunt Beatrice's $5 million inheritance. I wasn't stupid. I knew why they'd come. If you're watching this, subscribe and let me know where you're from. My name is Maggie, and this is the story of how my own family abandoned me until they smelled money. I was 59 when Walter passed. A heart attack took him in the night, quick and cruel. We'd been married 40 years, built a life in this big, creaky house in upstate New York. Walter was my rock quiet, steady, always planning for us. Daniel and Isabel were our pride, our everything. Daniel, 42 now, was always ambitious, chasing deals in finance. Isabel, 38, was my dreamer. Now a social media influencer with thousands of followers but no time for her mother. Their spouses, Vanessa and Nathan, fit them perfectly too perfectly. Vanessa loved designer bags more than people, and Nathan's failing business made him cling to Isabel's fleeting fame. After Walter's funeral, I waited for my kids to check on me. I'd sit by the phone, hoping. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months. By the first Christmas alone, I stopped hoping. I'd see Isabel's posts online smiling with her daughter Amelia at some tropical resort, never mentioning me. Daniel would text once a year, maybe, always an excuse. Work's crazy, Mom. Vanessa never bothered. Nathan sent a happy holidays email blast, my name misspelled. I wasn't perfect. Maybe I leaned on them too much after Walter died. I'd call, ask them to visit, share memories of their dad. Daniel snapped once. Mom, you're too needy. Get a life. Isabel was colder. I'm busy, Mom. You should be too. Their words cut deep, but I blamed myself. Maybe I was a burden. So, I stopped calling, stopped texting, stopped existing to them. For 3 years, I lived alone in this house, surrounded by Walter's thingshees, old books, his favorite chair. Dorothy, my neighbor and best friend, kept me sane. Shed, bring soup. Listen to me cry. Tell me I deserved better. Nurse Linda, hired when my arthritis flared, became family too. She'd say, Maggie, your kids'll regret this one day. I'd nod, but I didn't believe her. Then, last week, Mr. Caldwell called. Aunt Beatrice, Walter's distant aunt, had passed and left me $5 million. I barely knew Hurst visited once, years ago, a sharp woman with no kids of her own. Walter handled her investments, and apparently she'd never forgotten his kindness. The news stunned me. I hadn't told a soul, but somehow word got out. Small towns talk. By yesterday, my phone lit up with texts from Daniel. Mom, we need to talk, Isabel called, her voice syrupy. I've missed you so much. And now, here they were, on my porch, acting like nothing happened. I opened the door, my hands trembling. Daniel stepped forward, his suit crisp, his smile too wide. Mom, you look great, he said, like he hadn't ignored me for years. Vanessa hugged me, her perfume choking. Isabel's eyes darted around, probably pricing the house. Nathan carried Amelia, my sweet granddaughter, who looked confused. Ethan, Daniel's son, stood back, staring at his phone. Come in, I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. I led them to the living room, where Walter's portrait hung above the fireplace. They sat, awkward, avoiding his gaze. So, I started, folding my arms. What brings you here after 3 years? Daniel cleared his throat. We've been busy, Mom, but we're here now. We want to make things right. Vanessa nodded, clutching her purse. Isabel chimed in. We've missed you, Mom. Amelia talks about you all the time. Amelia, bless her, looked unsure, like she barely remembered me. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. 3 years, I said softly. No calls, no visits, not even when I was in the hospital last year. Their faces shifted guilt, maybe, or annoyance. Daniel leaned forward. Mom, let's not dwell on the past. We're family. I wanted to scream. Family? They'd left me to rot. But then Dorothy's words echoed. Maggie, don't let them walk over you. I took a breath, glancing at Walter's portrait. Head always said, trust, but verify. I wasn't the naive widow they thought I was. Mr. Caldwell had told me something else about the inheritancy condition Aunt Beatrice had set, one that would change everything. As they babbled about reconnecting, I noticed Vanessa's eyes linger on my jewelry box. Nathan mentioned tough times with his business. Isabel suggested a family vacation at my expense. My heart sank, but my resolve hardened. They thought they could waltz back for a piece of the pie. They didn't know I'd already spoken to Mr. Caldwell about a plan. I sat across from my family, their voices blending into a hum of excuses and flattery. Daniel's polished tone, Vanessa's fake tears, Isabel's calculated sweetness. It was a performance, and I was the audience they thought they could fool. The living room felt smaller, the air thick with their greed. Walter's portrait loomed over us, his kind eyes watching, almost judging. I clutched the armrest of my chair, my arthritis flaring, but I kept my face calm. They didn't know I'd spent 3 years hardening my heart, learning to see through lies. Daniel leaned forward, his hands clasped like he was closing a deal. Mom, we've been thinking, you shouldn't be alone in this big house. It's too much for you. His eyes flicked to the chandelier, the oak floors, the antiques Walter and I had collected. Maybe we could help, manage things. Vanessa nodded, her diamond earrings glinting. Exactly, Maggie. You deserve to relax. We could take some stress off you. Her smile was all teeth, like a shark circling. Isabel chimed in, twirling a strand of her perfectly styled hair. Yeah, Mom, we could move closer, be a real family again. Amelia would love it. She nudged my granddaughter, who gave a shy smile but stayed quiet, clutching her doll. Ethan, my grandson, didn't look up from his phone, earbuds in, lost in his own world. I wanted to laugh. Manage things? They meant my money. The inheritance news had spread like wildfire, and now they were here, playing the loving family card. But I remembered the silence 3 Christmases alone, eating microwave dinners while Isabel posted about her perfect life in Bali. I remembered Daniel's last text. Mom, I'm swamped. I'll call soon. That was 2 years ago. I remembered the hospital, when Nurse Linda held my hand because no one else came. Manage things? I repeated, my voice soft but sharp. That's kind of you. But I've managed just fine. Their smiles faltered. Nathan, always the opportunist, jumped in. Maggie, with the news we heard about Aunt Beatrice, you must be overwhelmed. We just want to support you. His voice dripped with false concern, but his eyes betrayed him, darting to the silver candlesticks on the mantel. I leaned back, studying them. Support, I said. Interesting word. Where was that support when I called after my fall last year? Or when I begged you to visit after Walter's funeral? Silence. Isabel shifted, her face tightening. Daniel coughed, adjusting his tie. Vanessa stared at her nails. Only Amelia looked at me, her big eyes confused, like she sensed the tension but didn't understand it. Mom, Isabel said, her influencer charm kicking in. We made mistakes, okay? Life got crazy, but we're here now. Let's start fresh. She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. Her touch felt like a transaction. I stood, my knees creaking, and walked to the kitchen. Let me get some tea, I said, needing a moment to breathe. As I filled the kettle, Nurse Linda appeared, her apron still on from helping earlier. She'd been tidying the guest room, but I knew she'd overheard everything. Maggie, she whispered. They're circling like vultures. You okay? I nodded, but my hands shook as I set out cups. Linda, they think I'm the same pushover I was 3 years ago, but I'm not. She squeezed my arm. Good. Walter would be proud. Back in the living room, I set the tray down, playing the gracious host. But my mind was racing. Mr. Caldwell had explained Aunt Beatrice's will in detail. The $5 million wasn't just a lump sum, it came with a condition. A test. Beatrice, a shrewd woman, had written it to expose true intentions. Only those who proved genuine loyalty could inherit. Walter had known about it, helped draft it even, but never told me. Had always said, "Maggie, people show their true colors when money's involved." As I poured tea, Daniel brought up the inheritance directly. "So, Mom, this windfall from Aunt Beatrice. It's a lot to handle, right? We could help you invest it, make it grow." His eyes gleamed, the same look he had as a kid when he wanted a new toy. Vanessa perked up. "Oh, absolutely. We know people, financial advisors. You don't want to make mistakes." I sipped my tea, letting them talk. Isabel mentioned a family foundation idea, clearly rehearsed. Nathan pitched his failing business as a sure thing for investment. They thought they were so clever. But they didn't know it already met with Mr. Caldwell. The will's condition required me to test their loyalty without them knowing. And I had a plan. "Tell you what," I said, setting my cup down. "Why don't you all stay for dinner tomorrow? We can talk more, catch up properly." Their faces lit up, thinking they'd won me over. "That sounds perfect, Mom," Daniel said. Isabel nodded, already typing on her phone, probably planning her next post about family love. As they left, hugging me with promises to return, I locked the door and leaned against it, my heart heavy. Dorothy came over, her eyes narrowed. "Maggie, what's your play here?" she asked. I smiled, a spark of defiance igniting. They think they're playing me, but I'm the one setting the board. That night, I called Mr. Caldwell. "It's time," I told him. "Set up the trust test. I want to see who they really are." He chuckled. "Maggie, you're tougher than Walter ever was. It's ready." As I lay in bed, Walter's empty side cold beside me, I felt a mix of dread and resolve. My kids thought they could waltz back for money, but they didn't know the trap Id Sator, the secret Walter had left in the will. One even I hadn't expected. The next day dragged on like a sentence in prison, my mind replaying every word from their visit. I paced the house, Walter's old clock ticking like a heartbeat in the silence. Dorothy came over early, her face etched with concern. "Maggie, you're really letting them back in? After everything?" she asked, stirring sugar into her coffee. I shook my head, staring out the window at the autumn leaves swirling in the wind. "Not letting them in, Dot. Testing them. Mr. Caldwell's got the papers ready. If they fail, they get nothing." She raised an eyebrow. "And if they pass?" I paused, my throat tight. "They won't. But if they do, maybe there's hope." Deep down, I doubted it. 3 years of abandonment had scarred me too deeply. Nurse Linda bustled in, setting out plates for dinner. "I've got your back, Maggie. If they step out of line, I'll be right here." Her presence was a comfort, a reminder I wasn't alone anymore. As evening fell, the doorbell rang again. There they were, dressed up like it was a holiday Daniel in a fresh suit. Vanessa, dripping in jewelry. Isabel in a trendy dress that screamed, "Influencer." Nathan with a bottle of cheap wine. Ethan and Amelia trailed behind, looking bored and out of place. "Mom, something smells amazing," Isabel exclaimed, hugging me too tightly. I forced a smile, leading them inside. We sat at the dining table, the same one where Walter and I had hosted countless family meals. Now, it felt like a battlefield. I served roast chicken, potatoes, and salad simple, but made with love I wasn't sure they deserved. As we ate, the conversation started light. Weather, kids' school, but greed has a way of bubbling up. Daniel cut in first. "So, Mom, about Aunt Beatrice's will, Mr. Caldwell mentioned it to you?" I nodded slowly, watching him. "Yes, Daniel, it's quite something." Vanessa's fork paused mid-air. "How much, exactly? I mean, for planning purposes." Her voice was casual, but her eyes were hungry. Isabel leaned in. "We could help divide it fairly, Mom. You know, for the grandkids' future." Amelia perked up at that, her innocent face lighting up. "Really, Grandma? Like for college?" My heart twisted. Amelia was the only pure soul here. Ethan mumbled something about video games, still glued to his screen. I set my napkin down, my pulse quickening. "Fairly," I echoed. "That's an interesting word. Tell me, what would be fair after 3 years of silence?" The room went quiet. Nathan fidgeted, pouring more wine. Daniel sighed, like I was the unreasonable one. Mom, we've apologized. Work, kids, life, it happens. Can't we move on? Move on? My voice rose, surprising even me. I spent my 60th birthday alone, Daniel. Isabel? You posted about a spa day that same weekend. Didn't even send a card. Isabel flushed, her perfect makeup cracking. Mom, I was dealing with my own stuff. Influencing isn't easy. Vanessa jumped in defensively. Maggie, you're being dramatic. We're here now. Dramatic. The word stung like a slap. I stood, excusing myself to the kitchen, tears pricking my eyes. Linda followed, whispering, Breathe, Maggie. Stick to the plan. I nodded, gripping the counter. The plan Aunt Beatrice's condition required proof of loyalty. Mr. Caldwell had suggested a trust exercise. I'd pretend to gift them portions early, but with hidden strings. Fake checks. Monitored accounts. If they took without giving back, they'd forfeit everything. Walter had added his own twist in a sealed letter. A secret fund only for those who showed remorse without prompting. Back at the table, I composed myself. All right, I said, sitting down. Let's talk about the inheritance. Aunt Beatrice left $5 million, but it's in a trust. I control it. Their eyes widened, forks forgotten. I want to help you all. Daniel, for your family's stability. Isabel, for Amelia's future. They nodded eagerly, smiles returning. Nathan practically salivated. That's generous, Maggie. But, I added, my voice steady, I need to know you're here for me. Not just the money. So, prove it. Stay the week. Help around the house. Spend time with me. No phones, no excuses. Silence again. Daniel glanced at Vanessa, who looked horrified. Isabel checked her watch. A whole week? Mom, I have shoots booked. Nathan muttered about work. Ethan groaned. No Wi-Fi? Only Amelia seemed excited. Can we bake cookies, Grandma? My heart ached for her, but I held firm. That's the deal. Take it or leave. They exchanged looks, calculating. Finally, Daniel nodded. Okay, Mom. For you. But I saw the resentment in his eyes. As dinner ended, they helped clear plates begrudgingly. Isabel whispered to Vanessa, This better be worth it. I pretended not to hear. That night, after they left promising to return tomorrow with bags, I sat with Dorothy and Linda. They're staying, I said. Dorothy smirked. And the cameras? I nodded. Mr. Caldwell had installed hidden ones, per the will's verification clause. Everything would be recorded. Let the test begin, I whispered, staring at Walter's portrait. But as I went to bed, a doubt crept in. What if they surprised me? What if this healed us? Or worse, what if the secret in Walter's letter destroyed everything? The morning sun filtered through the curtains, casting long shadows across the kitchen floor. I woke early, as always, my body aching from years of loneliness and now this new tension. Dorothy had left late last night, promising to check in, and Linda was already here, brewing coffee. They're coming back today, she said, handing me a mug. I nodded, stirring in sugar I didn't taste. Yes. The test starts now. Mr. Caldwell had confirmed the cameras were live hidden in clocks, bookshelves, even the smoke detectors. Every word, every action recorded for the trust's loyalty verification. If they showed genuine care, they'd qualify for shares. If not, well, Aunt Beatrice's will was unforgiving. By noon, they arrived with suitcases, the kids in tow. Daniel parked his sleek SUV in the driveway, Vanessa complaining about the rustic vibe. Isabel snapped photos of the house for her vintage aesthetic post, tagging it family reunion. Nathan hauled bags, grumbling under his breath. Ethan and Amelia ran inside, Amelia hugging my legs. Grandma, can we play in the garden? She asked, her eyes bright. I smiled, kneeling despite the pain. Of course, sweetie. For a moment, hope flickered maybe the grandkids could bridge this gap. I assigned rooms, Daniel and Vanessa in the guest suite, Isabel and Nathan in Isabel's old bedroom, kids sharing the playroom. No phones during family time, I reminded them. Groans all around. Daniel handed his over reluctantly. Vanessa clutched hers like a lifeline. But what if work calls? She whined. Let it go to voicemail, I said firmly. This is about us. The first day was awkward, like strangers in a hotel. I suggested baking cookies with the kids' Walter's recipe. Amelia dove in, flour on her nose, laughing as we shaped dough. Ethan joined hesitantly, away from his games. But the adults hovered, faking interest. Isabel checked her reflection in the oven door. This is cute, Mom, but I need to post about it. I shook my head. No phones, remember? She rolled her eyes when she thought I wasn't looking. Daniel helped by organizing Walter's old study, but I caught him rifling through drawers, eyes scanning for valuables. Vanessa complained about the Wi-Fi ban, pacing like a caged animal. Nathan cornered me in the hall. Maggie, about that investment my business could really use a boost. I brushed him off. We'll talk later. Inside, my heart sank. They weren't here for me. They were enduring me. That evening, we played board games Monopoly, ironically. Laughter echoed, but it felt forced. Amelia landed on my property, giggling. I owe you rent, Grandma. I waved it, hugging her. Ethan warmed up, sharing stories about school. But as night fell, the masks slipped. After tucking the kids in, I retreated to my room, leaving the adults in the living room. Linda whispered, Check the feed later. Alone, I logged into the secure app Mr. Caldwell set up. The cameras captured everything. In the kitchen, Vanessa sneered to Isabel. This is torture. No signal, no nothing. How long do we have to pretend? Isabel laughed. Until she signs over the cash. Mom's gullible. She'll cave. Daniel joined them, wine in hand. Yeah, but that trust thing, we need to push her. Act all remorseful tomorrow. Nathan nodded. Once we get our cut, we can bail. Who needs this old dump? My hands trembled on the tablet. Gullible, bail, old dump. Tears streamed down my face. This was my home, Walter's legacy. I'd raised them here, sacrificed everything. And this was how they saw me. A means to an end. I called Dorothy, sobbing quietly. They're worse than I thought. She soothed me. Maggie, you've got proof now. Use it. The next day, I played along, but my eyes were open. I asked them to help with chores, mowing the lawn, cleaning gutters. Daniel balked. Mom, hire someone. But he did it, grumbling. Vanessa cooked lunch-burnt sandwiches, complaining the whole time. Isabel took Amelia for a walk, but spent it on a hidden phone. I saw on camera later. Nathan fixed a leaky faucet, then asked about the will again. By afternoon, tensions rose. Ethan accidentally broke a vase, Walter's favorite. He looked terrified. I'm sorry, Grandma. I hugged him. It's okay. Accidents happen. But Vanessa snapped. Ethan, be careful. This stuff might be worth something. Worth something. Not sentimental. Just monetary. Isabel pulled me aside. Mom, the kids are restless. Maybe loosen the rules? I refused. This is the test. She stormed off. That night, more footage. In their room, Daniel and Vanessa argued. She's dragging this out. Vanessa hist. Pretend harder tomorrow, cry if you have to. Isabel and Nathan in whispers. If she doesn't budge, we could contest the will. My blood ran cold. Contest it? After abandoning me? I felt betrayal twist like a knife. But Walter's letter, unsealed by Mr. Caldwell yesterday, burned in my mind. It revealed a hidden clause. If disloyalty was proven, the inheritance redirected to charity and a secret fund for me alone, from Walter's investments. He'd foreseen this. Protect yourself, Maggie, he'd written. Our kids might forget, but you deserve peace. As I lay awake, Amelia slipped into my room, scared of a nightmare. I held her, singing Walter's lullaby. For her, for Ethan, I'd endure. But for the others, the breaking point was near. Tomorrow, I'd push harder, reveal a partial gift, and watch them unravel. Day 3 dawned gray and rainy, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. I watched from the window as rain pelted the garden. Where Amelia and I had planted flowers yesterday, her small hands in the dirt, giggling as mud splattered us. Those moments with the grandkids were the only light in this charade. Ethan had even put down his phone long enough to help, sharing shy stories about his soccer team. But the adults? They were cracking under the pressure, their facades slipping like wet leaves. I made breakfast pancakes, Walter's specialty. The kitchen filled with the scent of vanilla and butter. a ghost of happier times. They shuffled in, groggy and irritable. Vanessa complained about the lumpy mattress, her hair perfect despite the gripe. Daniel checked his watch obsessively, muttering about missed meetings. Isabel scrolled on a smuggled phone under the table. I'd seen it on the camera feed last night. Nathan shoveled food, eyes on me like I was a bank teller. "Morning," I said, plating stacks. Amelia beamed. "These are yummy, Grandma, like Daddy makes?" Isabel shot her a look. "No, sweetie, these are. Quaint." Quaint. My cooking, which had fed them for decades, reduced to that. I bit my tongue, serving Ethan extra syrup. He mumbled thanks, warming my heart a fraction. After breakfast, I assigned tasks. Grocery shopping with me, no cards, just cash to bond. Daniel drove Vanessa in the passenger seat, critiquing my list. "Mom, why not organic?" "It's healthier." As if she cared about my health. In the store, Isabel pushed the cart, posing for imaginary selfies. Nathan grabbed junk food, hinting, "Maggie, with your situation, we could afford better." I ignored him, but inside resentment boiled. Back home, while unpacking, I overheard them in the pantry cameras, catching every word. Vanessa whispered to Daniel, "She's hoarding it all. We need to amp up the guilt trip." Daniel agreed. "Tonight I'll cry about missing Dad or something. Soften her up." Isabel laughed softly. "Good plan. Nathan's drafting a business proposal, make it sound emotional." My fists clenched. Emotional? They'd turned my grief into a strategy. Lunch was tense. Rain trapped us inside, so I suggested sharing memories of Walter. "Tell me your favorites," I said, voice cracking genuinely. Amelia piped up, "Grandpa taught me to fish." Her eyes sparkled. Ethan added, "He helped with my science project." Sweet, unfiltered, but Daniel's story felt scripted. "Dad was my hero, Mom. I regret not being here more." Tears welled fake, I knew from the footage. Vanessa patted his back dramatically. Isabel chimed, "Yeah, he always said family first." Lie. Walter had worried about their selfishness in his last days. I nodded, pretending to buy it. "That's touching. Maybe this week is healing us." They relaxed, thinking they'd scored points. Nathan steered to money. Speaking of Dad, he was smart with finances. With Aunt Beatrice's gift, we could honor him, invest wisely. Isabel nodded. "For the kids, Mom. Think of Amelia and Ethan. Using the grandkids as pawn slow, even for them." Afternoon brought the push. I gathered them in the living room, Walter's portrait as witness. "I've thought about it," I said. "You're right, family should share. I'll give partial gifts now, as a show of trust." Their eyes lit up like Christmas lights. "Really, Mom?" Daniel breathed. I nodded, pulling envelopes from my pocket, fake checks from Mr. Caldwell, traceable. "Each couple gets $50,000. For your needs." Vanessa snatched hers, hugging me. "You're the best!" Isabel teared up real this time. Nathan grinned. "This means everything, Maggie." But strings attached. The checks were post-dated, and spending would be monitored. If used selfishly, without family benefit, the full inheritance voided for them. They didn't know. "One condition," I added. "Use it wisely. For the family." They promised, of course. As they pocketed them, Amelia tugged my sleeve. "Does this mean we're happy now, Grandma?" I kissed her forehead. "I hope so, darling." That evening, after a forced movie night, Walter's old favorites, they retired early. Linda helped me review footage. In Daniel's room. "Jackpot! We'll cash this tomorrow, bail by weekend." Vanessa. "Buy that bag I've wanted." Isabel and Nathan. "Pump it into the business screw, the family crap." My stomach churned. They'd failed already. I called Mr. Caldwell, voice shaking. They took the bait. Activate the void clause. He sighed. "I'm sorry, Maggie. But Walter's letter, there's more. A video he left, for if this happened." "A video?" My heart raced. "Send it." As rain hammered the roof, I watched alone. Walter, frail in his last months, speaking to camera. "Maggie, if our kids show their true colors, know I set aside $2 million just for you from my secret investments. Use it to live, love, travel. Don't let them break you. I love you." Tears poured. He'd protected me, even from beyond. But the pain deepened. My children, my blood, reduced to this. Tomorrow, I'd confront them, but gently, for the grandkids' sake. The emotional journey was tearing me apart, resilience cracking. Yet, in Amelia's hug earlier, I felt a spark of hope. Maybe not all was lost. Or was it? The climax loomed, and I dreaded the fallout. Day 4 broke with a deceptive calm, the rain easing into a misty drizzle that clung to the windows like unshed tears. I rose before dawn, Walter's video replaying in my mind, his voice, weak but resolute, urging me to protect myself. It gave me strength, but the weight of betrayal pressed heavy on my chest. How had my children become these strangers? I sipped coffee in the quiet kitchen, Linda joining me silently. "You watched the footage?" she asked. I nodded. "They're planning to leave soon as they cash those checks." Her face hardened. "Then end this, Maggie. For your sake." They emerged one by one, feigning cheer. Amelia bounded in first, hugging me. "Grandma, can we make forts today?" Her innocence was a balm. Ethan followed, less glued to his absent phone, asking about Walter's old model trains. I set them up in the attic, their laughter echoing down a rare joy amid the deceit. But the adults? Daniel was edgy, checking the clock. "Mom, about those checks, when can we deposit?" Vanessa fussed over breakfast, her nails tapping impatiently. Isabel staged a heartfelt moment. "Mom, I found old photos. Remember this?" She held a faded picture of us at the beach, Walter grinning. I took it, throat tight. Yes, happier times. But I knew from footage it was a ploy. We spent the morning bonding a walk in the damp garden. Amelia splashed in puddles, Ethan raced her. I linked arms with Isabel, testing. "Why the silence for 3 years?" She sighed dramatically. "Mom, I was building my brand. You understand sacrifice?" Sacrifice? I'd sacrificed my youth raising her. Daniel walked with me next. "I regret it, Mom. Work consumed me. Lies. All rehearsed." Nathan trailed, pitching his business again. Vanessa complained about mud on her shoes. Lunch brought cracks. I served soup, simple and warm. As we ate, Ethan asked, "Grandma, why don't we visit more?" The room froze. Daniel shot him a glare. "Buddy, we're here now." But Ethan's question pierced me. "Because life gets busy," I said softly, eyes on Daniel. He shifted uncomfortably. Amelia added, "I wish we lived closer. My heart broke anew. Grandkids suffered too. Afternoon tasks. Sorting Walter's closet. Sentimental, I thought, but they treated it like inventory. Vanessa held up a coat. This could sell for a bit. Isabel pocketed a tie. "Vintage is in." Daniel found Walter's watch, eyes gleaming. "Dad's Rolex worth a fortune." I snatched it back. "It's not for sale." Tension spiked. Nathan mediated. "Maggie, we're just helping." But I saw red. Helping or appraising, they backpedaled. Fake apologies flowing. By evening, I was exhausted. Resilience fraying. After dinner takeout, they insisted on I tuck the kids in. Reading stories Walter loved. Amelia whispered, "I love you, Grandma." Tears welled. "I love you too." Downstairs, the adults unwound with wine. I eavesdropped via the app. Daniel, "Cash the checks tomorrow, then ghost." Vanessa, "She's clinging pathetic." Isabel, "Once we have the money, cut ties for good." Nathan, "Contest if needed." "She's old. Who's to say she's competent?" Pathetic. Old. Incompetent. The words fueled a fire. I confronted Linda and Dorothy, who came over discreetly. "That's it," I said, voice breaking. "Enough." Dorothy hugged me. "You're strong, Maggie. Hit them with the truth." Mr. Caldwell texted. Void activated. Funds frozen. Video ready for playback. The breaking point hit. I'd gather them tomorrow. Reveal. Everything. The pain was unbearable, but so was the struggle. Resilience? It was all I had left. Yet as I stared at Walter's letter, a twist loomed. His secret fund included provisions for the grandkids, separate trusts. Maybe karma wouldn't destroy all. But for my kids? Downfall awaited. Day 5 arrived like a reckoning, the mist lifting to reveal a crisp autumn sky that did nothing to ease the chill in my bones. I'd barely slept, Walter's video haunting my dreamshiz face, lined with worry, begging me to find peace without them. Peace. It felt like a distant memory as I heard the house stir, footsteps creaking overhead. Linda met me in the kitchen, her eyes kind but firm. "Today?" she asked. I nodded. "Today. I can't drag this out." The footage from last night had sealed it. More whispers of escape plans. Vanessa mocking my senile rules. Daniel calculating how to handle me legally. My own son plotting against me. The pain was a dull ache now, numbed by resolve. They came down for breakfast, masks on tighter than ever. Amelia and Ethan were the bright spots, chattering about building a leaf pile outside. I let them play in the yard, watching from the window as they laughed. Innocent in this mess. Daniel sipped coffee, casual. "Mom, great night. We're really connecting." "Lie." Isabel smiled over her phone sheet, snuck it back. "Yeah, Mom. Let's make this permanent." "Permanent? Only if it came with dollars." Vanessa complimented my eggs. Nathan nodded along. Hypocrites. All. I waited until mid-morning, gathering them in the living room. Walter's portrait stared down, a silent ally. "We need to talk," I said, voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. They sat, expectant, thinking this was the payout moment. Mr. Caldwell arrived unannounced. I'd called him earlier. His briefcase clicked open, papers rustling. "Maggie asked me here," he explained. Their faces shifted from eager to wary. "About the checks," I began. Daniel leaned forward. "We appreciate it, Mom. We'll use them wisely." I held up a hand. "They're fake." Gasps. Vanessa's face paled. "What?" Isabel spluttered. "Mom, that's cruel." "Cruel? After their abandonment? Mister?" Caldwell nodded. "Part of the trust test, per Aunt Beatrice's will, to verify loyalty." Nathan stood. "This is insane. We came here. For the money?" I finished. "I know. The cameras recorded everything." Shock rippled through them. Daniel's jaw dropped. "Cameras? That's invasion of privacy." I met his gaze. "In my home? After 3 years of silence? You invaded my life by showing up only when it suited you." Isabel teared up. "Real this time, fear, not remorse." "Mom, we were wrong, okay? Please." Vanessa clutched Daniel's arm, whispering frantically. Nathan paced, red-faced. "We can sue." Mr. Caldwell cleared his throat. "Actually, no. The will's ironclad. Disloyalty voids your claims." He laid out documents, transcripts from footage, their words in black and white. "Gullible." "Pathetic." "Cut ties." I read aloud, voice breaking on the last. Silence fell, heavy as lead. Amelia and Ethan peeked in, confused. I sent them upstairs with Linda, shielding them. Daniel tried. "Mom, it was stress talking. We love you." "Love?" The word tasted bitter. "Love doesn't ghost for years. Love doesn't plot to contest a will." Tears streamed down my face now, the emotional dam cracking. I waited by the phone, holidays alone, thinking it was my fault. "But it's yours." Isabel sobbed. "We're sorry." "Too late," Vanessa snarled. "You're heartless! Keeping it all!" "Heartless?" They'd broken mine. Then the twist. Mr. Caldwell played Walter's video on his tablet. Walter's voice filled the room. "If you're watching this, our kids failed you, Maggie. I saw it coming, their greed. So I hid $2 million for you alone. Live your life, my love." They stared, stunned. Daniel whispered, "Dad did that." Isabel collapsed into a chair. "He knew?" "Yes, he knew. His secret fortune. Built quietly. Now my shield." The consequence hit like a wave. "You get nothing," I said. "The inheritance redirects to charity and trusts for Amelia and Ethan when they're 18. Joy for the grandkids, karma for the rest." Nathan stormed out, cursing. Vanessa followed, hurling insults. Isabel begged, "Mom, don't do this." Daniel stood frozen then. "We deserved better." "No, I did." As they packed, humiliation etched on their faces, I felt release of tears of triumph mixing with sorrow. The house emptied, their SUV speeding away. Linda hugged me. "You did it!" Dorothy arrived, cheering. But alone later, I sat under Walter's portrait, reflecting. Pain had forged me stronger. Resilience won. Yet a hopeful ache remained for the grandkids. Maybe reconciliation one day. But for now, freedom. The climax had passed, but closure whispered, I was enough. The echo of their departing car faded into the distance, leaving the house wrapped in a profound silence I'd once dreaded, but now welcomed like an old friend. I stood at the door, watching the dust settle on the driveway, my hands still trembling from the confrontation. Mr. Caldwell patted my shoulder gently. "You were brave, Maggie." Walter would be smiling. He gathered his papers and left, promising to handle the legal aftermath, the redirected funds, the grandkids' trusts. Linda busied herself in the kitchen, giving me space, while Dorothy sat with me on the porch swing, her presence a quiet anchor. "It's over," she said. "Now what?" "Now what?" The question hung in the air as I wandered back inside. The rooms feeling larger, emptier, yet somehow lighter. Walter's portrait caught my eye, his smile seeming warmer, approving. I touched the frame, whispering, "Thank you for seeing what I couldn't." The secret fund he'd left $2 million, untouched by their greed meant freedom. Travel, perhaps a smaller home by the sea, hobbies I'd set aside for family. But the victory tasted bittersweet. I'd lost my children, or maybe realized they'd been lost long ago. The pain of their betrayal lingered, a scar that would fade but never vanish. That afternoon, I sorted through old photos, tears falling on images of Daniel and Isabel as toddler chubby cheeks, innocent eyes. Where had it gone wrong? Walter's death, their ambitions, me overindulgence. Reflection brought no easy answers, only a deep, aching acceptance. I'd given them everything, but they chose greed over love. Resilience had carried me through 3 years alone. Now it propelled me forward. Nurse Linda found me there, album in lap. "Maggie, you're not alone. You've got me, Dorothy, and those grandkids will come around." She was right. Amelia and Ethan's trusts insured their futures, and I'd stipulated visit supervised. On my terms. Perhaps one day they'd understand. By evening, my phone buzzed not from them, but a voicemail from Isabel, voice cracking. "Mom, how could you? We needed that money." "No apology, just entitlement." Daniel texted, "You'll regret this." Vanessa and Nathan stayed silent, probably plotting futilely. Their downfall was complete humiliated, exposed, left with nothing but regrets. Karma, raw and just. I deleted the messages, feeling a weight lift. No more waiting for calls that never came. As night fell, I sat in Walter's chair, journaling my thoughts, the struggle, the hurt, the triumph. "I am enough," I wrote, echoing his letter. Hope flickered. Maybe therapy for the family. Bridges rebuilt slowly. But for now, healing myself. The emotional journey had been a storm, but I'd emerged stronger, ready for a new chapter. Days turned to weeks, the house settling into a peaceful rhythm without their shadows. I donated clothes they'd left behind, cleared spaces that held bad memories, and started planning my new life. Dorothy helped me book a Cruise Me First solo adventure. Linda suggested classes, painting, yoga, things Walter and I dreamed of but never did. The $2 million sat secure, a gift from beyond, funding dreams I'd buried. But the true wealth was freedom from waiting, from hurt. One evening, Amelia called supervised by a social worker, per the trusts. "Grandma, I miss you." Her voice melted me. "I miss you too, sweetie. We'll see each other soon." Ethan joined. "Sorry about everything." Kids' apologies, pure. Their parents? Radio silence, save for a lawyer's letter contesting dismissed quickly by Mr. Caldwell. Rumors reached me. Daniel's deals soured without family support. Isabel's followers dropped after a vague post about toxic ties. Nathan's business folded. Vanessa pawned jewelry. Their downfall, self-inflicted, brought quiet satisfaction. Karma didn't need my hand. Their greed did the work. In raw detail, I imagined their shock, Checks bouncing, accounts frozen, Walter's video replaying in their minds. Humiliation at brunches, friends whispering. Loss of the millions they'd counted on. My emotional release came in wave steers in the garden. Closure under stars. Triumph in reclaiming my story. Reflecting now, I see the journey. From heartbroken widow to resilient woman. Pain taught me strength. Betrayal revealed truth. If you're listening, know this family is chosen. Love earned. I found mine in friends, grandkids, myself. Walter's legacy lives in that. Thanks for listening. If this story hit you in the heart, don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share your story in the comments. Your voice matters.